This is MMA guy. Today back at it with a video for the Khalil versus Pereira 2 card. Doing a matchup for each fighters in the for the next card for their next fight. I'll go mainly over the main card, maybe select fighters on the prelims because honestly for most of them it's but I have a couple in mind that I'm gonna do. After this, by the way, this week dropping two lists, dropping best striker, best grappler list, these kind of videos. I'm dropping two of them at least, and I have another video incoming as well. This is a hype week for me in terms of release, so make sure y'all stay tuned and come watch those videos. Maybe subscribe. Hey, all right. First video, Nkala versus first fight. Nkala versus Pereira. So this was crazy. First round KO over a guy like Nkala, who was a minus 285 favorite and pretty much undefeated. He lost to Paul Craig, in a fluke matchup. But overall, Magomed has been phenomenal. He's got robbed against Jan Wall, robbed-ish against Jan in a fight where he looked better. If there was a rematch, for sure, Ank would have been a favorite in the rematch. Most likely would have won. And he did win that fight, in my opinion. It was a bit of a robbery. And besides that, he's been perfect besides those two moments in his career. And Pereira at 38 years old, which is not that old in light heavyweight, but still, it's on the higher end, for sure. And for him to beat someone like Nkalaev like this in dominant fashion like that, crazy. My next matchup for Alex Pereira, I think you have to do a super fight. I don't think he's going to keep defending the belt. I think you do Tom Aspinall. He said John Jones, which I hate, by the way. I hate him for mentioning John Jones. Why does someone like Alex Pereira mention a steroid abuser who, has been ducking a fight with Tom Aspinall? And you're saying that the fight that you want is Tom Aspinall, and is it John Jones and not Tom Aspinall? Sounds weird to me. Just fight Tom Aspinall, buddy. Like, fight Tom Aspinall. If you want to fight at heavyweight, ain't no John Jones matchup. We don't want this. We want Tom Aspinall, or you fight a legitimate contender at heavyweight if you don't want to fight Tom Aspinall for some reason. You're not fighting John Jones. You're not fighting a retired guy who wants a fight, who wants a fight that's a stylistic matchup that favors him. I don't even think he's beating Alex Pereira. But we're not letting John Jones have a shot at beating Alex Pereira. That's the thing. That's insulting to us. And so you fight Tom Aspinall or you fight Carlos Solberg. Carlos Solberg is a new matchup. Tall, striker as well. With power. We've seen him put out Reyes. He's been lackluster before. And I think that Pereira beats him. And if he beats Solberg, I think that ages very well. Olberg is on 3 solid wins. Dominic Reyes wins kind of but still, that would definitely solidify Pereira's resume, who's an all-time great by now. For sure, I think he's probably top 10. I think without a doubt he's top 10. This Ankalaev win is only going to age like butter, I think. Well, like wine, Yeah, age like wine, for sure. This is going to be a phenomenal win for him. Is going to keep aging well, I think, and it's already well aged because Ank's resume is very good. And now for Ank, I'm actually more hyped about that matchup than Pereira's next matchup, if it's not Tom Aspinall, because that's like a super fight-ish matchup, And Carlos Solberg, it's a cool matchup as well. But I'd really love to see Ankalaev and Jiri fight. I'd really love that. I think that's perfect. I think it's a fight to make. I don't think you sell Jiri versus Pereira 3. You don't make a trilogy like that. Jiri on a instead of because we know Jiri delivers every time, and so you go Jiri versus Ankalaev. I think that's perfect. That's a perfect matchup, and I'd really love to see this fight in a 5 rounder. Ideally, I don't like seeing Jiri fight 3 rounders. Although he always fights like he's very good in them. I feel like the way he fights with his style, I know he was dying in the 3rd round, but he's not gonna overexhaust himself if his opponent doesn't look finishable in that point in time. So the pace at which he fought, because it was a 3 rounder, he fought like blitzkrieg the 3rd round, crazy. Well, Pereira kind of blitzkrieg actually, but like Jiri decided to maraud the 3rd round, crazy. Khalil threw like a big exchange at the first, like at the beginning of the 3rd round, which I thought was crazy because he was fading late in that second, and he just came out threw like 8 big shots he loaded up on. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the flip are you doing, man? You know. So I'm thinking Magomed Ankalaev versus Jiri Prochazka is a very good fight. Fight night main event or like a co-main of a pay-per-view would be a phenomenal fight. Then you do Pereira versus Tom Aspinall at the White House card. Even though I don't really care for I know it's hype the White House card, but it can be on any card. That's hype. It's the fight that I care about. But that would be nice. That would be nice on the White House floor for sure. For sure. And yeah, man, crazy performance by Pereira. Very nice. He saved that division from Magomed just beating everyone. I think you can also do Magomed versus Olberg if Pereira's gonna go up to heavyweight and hold up the division, because you can give Magomed like a title shot. Well, I guess they're gonna be like interim champs in that situation. You can do Magomed versus Olberg or Magomed versus Jiri, but I prefer the Magomed versus Jiri. I just think that's a very cool matchup. And Pereira versus Aspinall, it's a KO fight without a doubt, or submission. Like there's a finish in that fight, no doubt. I would probably favor. I think I would favor Tom Aspinall to beat him because I think he's gonna grapple, and I also think that he has the ability to KO Alex. Alex doesn't have the best striking defense, and they both have the ability to KO each other. I just feel like Alex is going to be a lot more hesitant to blitzkrieg him because, well, Tom Aspinall is going to be significantly larger than Magomed. Although I don't think Alex is too small for heavyweight at all. That's what I think. I think Magomed also beats Jiri. I think Jiri wouldn't be able to drag Magomed into like a crazy fight like that. I think he might just get out techniqued, outsped completely, and just beaten down to the punch simply. Now, anyway, second fight, Merab against Cory. That was very impressive because I rate Cory extremely highly. I think Cory's a phenomenal fighter. And Merab just took him down 20 times. I think Merab has a problem though. He needs to be able to garner some takedown, like some control time on the ground, because it's nice that he fights this way and it's more active, and like you see him shoot takedown, just mat returns and everything. That is cool. I just feel like as he gets older, if his cardio starts fading just slightly, he's in big trouble, and he's only getting older. I mean, Merab's a machine right now, but he's about to turn 35 soon, I think. I don't think it says their age here. No, it doesn't. But he outstruck him. Merab has outstruck Sean O'Malley twice, Peter Yan, Cory Sandhagen. In terms of, I don't care for technical striking, but in terms of purely effectiveness on the feet with the takedown threat being included, which is what matters. Because no one cares. Oh man, if they had a striking fight. No one cares if they had a striking fight. What matters is Sean O'Malley going to dominate on the feet with Merab? And the truth is that no. If you do another match and you were to bet, Merab would be a favorite to land more significant strike than O'Malley. That's the only thing that matters for me, for a striker. Now, obviously, their ability to be lethal, which Merab has shown in that fight against Cory Sandhagen. He almost took him out. Almost put him out cold in that. Well, not out cold, but almost put him out. That would have been a very okay finish, to be honest. And Cory looked compromised the rest of the fight. He wasn't able to eat strikes as well as he could in the beginning. And Cory, by the way, in the past has had a granite chin. A close to uncrackable chin. He's been dropped by Jan twice, but never dropped in a way where there was where it was close to being finished. It was mainly off balance with the power, but he was always conscious. This was, and Song Yadong wobbled him at some point in their fight, but this was different. Merab almost finished him, and like very, very close, and he kept hitting him, and it feels as though he didn't feel that the cardio draining out of him. Often when guys go like this, it's like a problem in the later rounds. Merab had no problem, and the night after, right after the fight, he was like dancing in a club or something. So, who do you put to Merab next? You go Peter Yan too. I think that fight's a lot closer than people were talking about. And I think that's the next matchup to do in that division, simply. I think people are underrated how well Peter Yan did in the first couple rounds. At some point, Merab took over, like he always does. But Peter Yan did better than they were talking about. And I think that Peter Yan has been getting better takedowns. Maybe if he can get the fight to the ground on his own term at some point, that could be good. That would be a look that we haven't really seen besides Umar, and Umar wasn't able to keep him there at all. So I don't think Peter Yan will on second thought. I still think Jan's the best. I think Jan is a fighting computer, and I think that's the closest thing we're gonna have to a competitive fight when it comes to Merab. Besides potentially Umar, but Umar has 1 ranked wins right now. He needs at least, I think Umar needs 1 or 2 good wins. And if he beats Mario Bautista by decision in a Umar fashion, the way he beat Cory, I don't want him getting a title shot. I want him getting a showing that says, okay, maybe he's different now, and maybe he's gonna win this time. Because Merab only seems to be getting better, despite his somewhat old age for a lighter weight class. So yeah, this is so Merab versus Peter Yan 2. Book it. I don't want super fights for Merab. I love the way he's fighting. He's defending the belt and everything. I think at 45 against Volk, it's cool. I just prefer Peter Yan 2, to be honest. That's it for me. Cory Sandhagen. He did very good. I think he might have done the best besides Umar. I think he did the second best in a fight against Merab. And I would say you match him up with Sean O'Malley. This is a super fight. This is a White House card fight. Okay? You go Cory Sandhagen versus O'Malley, and neither of the winners getting a title shot. Okay? After that, I don't want to hear no. Actually, they're going to be at the White House. For sure, they're going to be, oh, yeah, well, the new fans watched it. So if you're going to do it, don't do it at the White House, because I don't want them to get a title shot after. I think you don't have one fighter in their last 2 that should get another title shot. That's disgraceful to me. Peter Yan had to win 3 fights in a row against very high level of competition besides Marcus McGee, but Marcus McGee's very high level. He's just low ranked. Anyhow, back of the rant, I think you do Cory Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. You can do it at the White House if they're not promised any title shot or anything. If not, you do it as like a co-main to a pay-per-view. Yeah, that's it. Now, next fight, the best fight I've seen in a while. The best fight I've seen in a while. Jiri always bringing it. I knew who was gonna win. To be honest, the way that I watched that fight, I watched it with other people, and I said, and I saw him starting slipping and all of that. I said, I still believe in Jiri. After the 2 rounds, the others were plus 500 for Jiri to lose. I was to win. Yeah, you had to bet 500 to make 100 for Jiri to win. But my account isn't funded anymore. I don't have any betting money anymore. I've been losing all of my bets, which are crazy. Bad money on Merab parlay, so no good. Anyhow, Jiri, always dragging the fight and then knocking people out in the third and the later rounds, doing these crazy wars. And Khalil's a very high level fighter, showed level against Pereira. And he beat him in the first 2 rounds. And he beat Jiri as well. But he had Alex almost hit. I feel like he hit Alex maybe more. I'm going to have to look at the strike counts in the future. Maybe I'm wrong. But honestly, Jiri adapted well and started beating him up. And in the third round, gave their all. And there was one man standing, and it was Jiri, the samurai. I've already talked about the matchup that I want for him next. I want Ank versus Jiri. I think it's a phenomenal matchup. Co-main to a pay-per-view or a fight night main event. Hopefully on a pay-per-view, because we love seeing Jiri in these big high-stakes matchup. I would love that in a 5-rounder, because they're both championship caliber fighters. So there's that. Now, when it comes to Khalil's 35. He's been knocked out very, very badly. Took a lot of damage in 2 of his last 3 fights. And at this level, he's lost to Pereira, which is a step up above Jiri, but now he's lost to Jiri. So he's not next in line. I think you need at least 2 good fights to win. I think you do. You could let him avenge his Johnny Walker loss. You could make that fight happen since Johnny Walker is on a upward trajectory because he just fraud checked Zhang Mingyang. So I think there's that. That matchup is there. Or else you can go. What else can you really do for Khalil in that division? I'm trying to think of who there is. He's beaten Jamal. Jan's match against Bogdan. You can do Dominic Reyes as well. You can do Dominic Reyes, but I don't wish that matchup for Dominic Reyes. I think Reyes is going to get absolutely smoked by Khalil. So if you want Khalil back in the title picture, you do Reyes, but now you're just preying on the downfall of Dominic Reyes, to be honest. If you make that fight happen, there's something wrong with you. I don't know what you're doing there, but that would be evil work. That would be absolutely crazy. Don't make that fight. Yeah, I think that's a first round KO for Khalil. So I would go someone like Bogdan. Well, Bogdan's also a killer. Do a very winnable matchup for him next. If he loses it, just retire, buddy. But I think you can do Bogdan versus Jan winner. I would say, yeah, the Dominic Reyes fight, the Johnny Walker fight, something like that. Something like that. That would be it for me. And hoping a speedy recovery to Khalil because that was very brutal, very, very brutal. Okay, got knocked out. Looked like Yamcha at the end. That's not good. Now we have Josh Emmett versus Youssef Zalal with an impressive showing for Youssef Zalal. I think he looked very, very good. But now he's beaten Josh Emmett, who's 40 years old, straight up 40. He's in the big four. He's at the big four now. Just crazy to fight at featherweight at 40 years old. And you have also Calvin Cater that he beat in his last fight, who's now on like 4-fight losing streak. Just cut this, man. At this point, we don't want to see him fight no more. Now, when it comes to Youssef Zalal, he's been getting these. He's ranked in the top 10 now because of that, or he was already. I think was he already? Wait, what does it say? Does it mention the ranking? Yeah, okay, no. So he was already in the top 10 off of Cater, which is absolutely crazy. Now he's beaten Josh Emmett, who, he's looked, even in his Murphy fight, didn't look that good. He never was that good, but I don't know, he's not been looking like he has at a certain point in his career. I would say Youssef Zalal needs to fight someone in their prime that's above him in the ranking. And I think the perfect matchup for him, you do Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen hasn't been active. He's not going to fight up above him in the rankings. That would be weird because he's been inactive. His last wins against Giga. It's not aged well. Giga has lost to David Onama. It's not that promising. It's not like he had lost to Gene Silva on his run. He lost to David Onama, who they're, it's whatever. But I would say just Arnold Allen versus Youssef Zalal. That's the fight. And if Allen loses that, it gets mollywopped the same way that Josh Emmett has, I think you stop Allen from contendership. Because Allen, I feel like he's almost always right there for like getting a title shot or something. He's like one of those fighters because we love him, and I like Allen. I think he's a G. But you fight, man. I don't care. He's injured. He's always injured. It's one of those. So fight Youssef Zalal. You're not fighting above the rankings. Fight Youssef Zalal. That's a very tough cookie matchup, and I don't know who wins that. I think Allen can win that fight. And I would absolutely love to see it. And then fight above the ranking, and then maybe get a title shot if you win both of those. But Youssef Zalal is very promising. I always thought of him as a kickboxer, but I was told that he was a submission guy, like a grappler. And then I see him finishing Josh Emmett in barely above a minute, which is crazy. That was phenomenal by him. Phenomenal showing. Did great. Takedown early. Love that match. Love that for him. I want to see Youssef Zalal versus Arnold Allen. I think that's a phenomenal matchup. And I want to see Josh Emmett retire. You're 40 years old. You lost your last two, maybe even more. Time to pack it up, buddy. You're not getting close to title contendership, just taking damage. At least he didn't take much damage in this fight, so he's probably going to stick around, but it's not good to have 40 years old in the ranking. It's like it makes for easy matchups. It makes for easy matchup for people to get in the rankings. And now you'll have a guy who's 2-0 in the UFC. Josh Emmett, you can't really match him up with anyone that good. So now there's this guy that's like number 14 or something. He's going to fight Josh Emmett. He's going to win easily. And he'll be number 8. He'll be a number 10 in the world. And he won't even be that high level. Like, he's going to fight someone in their prime as well. And he's just going to lose. And I'm going to be pissed that we have bad rankings. Like Yair Rodriguez, who's at number 3 in the rankings. Well, meanwhile, it's a wet towel. He fights anyone with grappling and he just folds. And it's like the only one that couldn't beat him recently is Patricio Pitbull. And Pitbull decided not to grapple. Except, I think, in the third round where he got some success. It's like, buddy, we need, get Yair Rodriguez outside the rankings. Get this guy at, make this guy fight Youssef Zalal. Make him fight Youssef Zalal. Let's do it. Make him fight Yusef Zaha, and if he lose, they switch spot. Yair doesn't go to number 4 now. And then someone else beats him, and now he's number 6. Bullshit. Like 5 or 6 afterwards. You know, he's still in the top 5 on 4 fight losing streak. That would be idiotic. If they fight, they switch spot. And Yair has to earn back his shot. He has to fight down the rankings because he fought an unranked fighter and he was almost promised a title shot afterwards. I hate this guy. Terrible fighter. Brian Ortega. Seems like a cool guy. He shouldn't be in the rankings, I think. Does he even beat Josh Emmett? He might beat Josh Emmett, but he might also... He's one of those guys that could very much get clipped with that big old overhand. But I don't think he beats... I don't even think he beats like Giga Chikadze or those guys. I think he's like... I think if you feed Brian Ortega to top guys in the lower half of the rankings, I think he gets beaten easily. Got 50-45 on defeat by Aljo. Okay? Let's not forget that. And he's predominantly a striker with some jiu-jitsu. Okay? Alright. Abus Magomedov. Yeah. Okay, I've done the matchup. So Yusef Zaha, Arnold Allen, Josh Emmett, retirement. Joe Pyfer, Joe Body Bags Pyfer, man. Big old KO. He has some big power in those hands. Joe Pyfer. At some point, I want to see this matchup. Joe Pyfer versus Atiba Gauthier. I don't know why people aren't talking about that matchup. I think this is phenomenal. But for now, you know, Joe Pyfer's just got the number 14 spot in the ranking. I'd love to see him fight. He's at middleweight? Who do you make him fight? Make him fight a guy like Marvin Vettori, who has an uncrackable chin. Can he crack that chin? I don't think so, but I think that's a matchup you make. Either Marvin Vettori, Ramin Dolidze kind of matchup for him. Because last time they pushed him up, Jack Hermanson pulled out the craft and he beat him. So I would have loved a matchup between him and Gregory Rodriguez. I think that's good. The thing is that Gregory Rodriguez is outside the rankings, so you can do that. You can do a Cannonier matchup, but I feel like we're just feeding Cannonier at this point, and he's 40 years old. Let's not put him against big power puncher. Get him bodied or something, because he's on like a 3-fight losing streak. Oh no, he beat Gregory Rodriguez outside the rankings. So not that good of a look. Yeah, so you go either... I would go Marvin Vettori, uncrackable chin. Can Joe Pyfer decide to pull out a submission like he just did, and like get it to the ground and stuff? Does he have some brain in him, or is he gonna get dogged out? Because put him as a fight night main event against Marvin Vettori. Let's see if he can do 5 rounds, and let's see if when he sees that he can't crack the chin, he switches the game plan. Like Mai did against Rodting. You know, I'm going to take you down and sub you in the second. Yeah. Let's see if he has that kind of brain. Because if he's just a slugger like that, we're not interested in him. But he pulled out the submission in that fight. I thought that was nice. I want to see it if he's able to do it as an adjustment instead of just... Abus took the fight to the ground first, so Joe Pyfer decided, okay... maybe felt something there. I want to see it. I want to see that. So Joe Pyfer against a guy like Marvin Vettori, I think that's cool. And Abus Magomedov, I would put him against... Yeah, Gregory Rodriguez or... Yeah, you can do a Gregory Rodriguez matchup for him. That makes sense. Or Roman Kopylov. I think Roman Kopylov or... Oh no. Damn, Kopylov and Rodriguez are matched up. That's why I thought of both those guys. You can do the loser of that matchup. The loser of Gregory Rodriguez versus Kopylov fights Abus. Makes sense for me. Alright, Atiba Gauthier. I don't have names that low in the rankings I want to see fight. I think they're probably going to feed him another can or something, which is fine. He has a spot and he does look very good every time. Don't have nothing for those guys. This guy, the Cory and McGregor, got knocked the fuck out. Yo, this guy got absolutely put out cold after stunning. He was like, then gets, got slept completely. Which, that I hate. When, like, if you're gonna emote, at least don't lose the fight. It's not a good look, man. Just think about that, huh? Patchy Mix, get him out of the UFC. This guy is bad. He's terrible. He proved everything we thought about Bellator. It's a bunch of pushovers. Okay? Patchy Mix, minus 305. Found a way to lose that fight. He didn't do much. I didn't think he won. I thought it was close, but I still thought he lost. I don't know why I clicked on that guy. Yeah, Patchy Mix, no good. Patchy Mix, get him out of the organization or make him fight a guy. Make him fight make him fight. I don't know. Give him Charles. I think Charles Jourdain versus Davy Grant loser. That's a fight in November. You make him fight the loser of that. You can never really. I don't want them to put him against bottom of the barrel UFC fighters, like complete bottom of the barrel, like Brian Keller or someone like that. And then he gets a win, a submission, and so we keep him around and we think that he has potential. If he's not beating outside of the rankings as the next Bellator champ, that's the only thing he has. I don't want to see him in the UFC. Get him out. I think that's the way it should go. What else? Oh, Farid Basharat. This guy, people were underrating this guy. He beat Chris Gutierrez, which is a solid win. He did show some vulnerability in that third round, though. And he also has a win against Damon Blackshear, who's also, and he's a grappler, so that's a very, very good win. I say Farid Basharat, I think at this point 13-0, now 14-0, I think. It doesn't say it. I think Farid Basharat is a 14-0 fighter with a win over Chris Gutierrez, win over Damon Blackshear. Match him up lower end of the rankings. Match him up against Rob Font. Rob Font needs to retire if he's like, his spot is gone, but I guess maybe if you can see if he can still prove a fraud check, make him fight Rob Font or a guy in that similar position, the loser of Zahabi versus Vera. Make him fight a guy like that in the rankings. Ramiz Brahimaj, big finish by Ramiz Brahimaj. I don't know why he doesn't have a performance bonus. Yeah, pie for Pereira. That's fair. Ramiz Brahimaj, you can start matching him up with. You can do like a Carlos Leal coming off that brutal KO kind of fight. You can do a fight like that. You can do a Muslim Salikov, like guy middle tier C fighter, Renat Fakhreddinov. No, but Renat could be fighting for a spot. You could put him against Gustafsson, the Swedish guy. I have Alexander Gustafsson, but I don't think that's his name. I think that's the guy at 205 with fought John Jones. I think it might be his name as well. I don't remember. Make him fight the 170-pound guy, Swedish guy, Gustafsson. That works. Yeah, I have nothing about this fight. So this is it. Thank you very much for sticking through. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, but this is the video about the card. Next videos are going to be very, very, I'm going to be looking at the comments because I really want to see. I'm going to do a top 15 best striker in the UFC list. And it will be a no BS list. Now, this is important because I'm not dealing with none of the, oh, but man, Michael Venom Page, man, he's super quick and he beats these guys. I don't care about those guys. I care about championship to very, very close to championship caliber fighter. I'm not looking at, oh, the way this guy throws his switch kick. No one cares, buddy. I want pure performance. If this guy, when he fights, takedown threat or not, if he outstrikes his opponent, he's on the list, and that's that. That's all we're caring about. So striking efficiency, best strikers in the only term that matters, in the only sense that matters, best striker. And I will also do a best grappler list that I got coming this week. I'm working on it right now. Gonna be posting those maybe tomorrow. One tomorrow and then one the day after, I'm thinking. And I also have another video that I'm thinking, because I feel like some fighters, there's a specific win that fighters have on their resume that people, he's kind of the first out of prime 28-year-old fighter and this and this and that. And so I will be dropping this fighter file for probably by the end of this week as well. So y'all stay tuned. Very hyped to be very hyped for y'all to see these videos, to interact with them, maybe tell me if I've missed a fighter, something, and that's it. So thank you for sticking around. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think.